Welcome, and thank you for joining for another whiskey review. Today, we're taking a look at the 2024 Springbank 18, Dustin. The July of 2024, June of 2024, June 17th review. Comes in at 46% as always. Dustin, once again, you're able to get another Springbank 18, and this one was not easy.
The most anticipated whiskey review we have ever done right here, guys. I'm not even joking, Mike. We've had at least 15 people in the comments ask us about this particular bottle.
And why, Dustin? What's special about the 2024 Springbank 18?
As far as I know, guys, is our first ever 18 year that is 100% ex-bourbon. Springbank's been kind of rolling out a bunch of these lately. They did a 12 cask strength. Local barley they did with that. So now we got the 18. Probably going to do a 21 here soon is my guess.
Yeah.
And everybody has been telling us how great this is. I mean, this has been, you said like 10 months right now?
Yeah, 10 months old. We've heard about this whiskey for quite some time.
We have been every couple reviews that people are going back to every one of our 18s. Hey, are you going to get that 24?
Like, we'll get there. We'll get there, guys.
I thought we were going to miss out, but thankfully I was able to get one.
Yeah.
And then another one.
Then another one. Not one for me, two for Dustin. All right,
it's a good system. The third one's Mike's. That's how it works.
All right, so again, this time is all ex-bourbon, natural color, unchill-filtered, 46% ABV, as always. Springbank 18, one of our favorite annual release whiskeys.
Yeah, one that has been getting progressively better lately, Mike. You know, one of the things we really got to figure out is what's the best recent release of these, because they've just been killing it, release after release.
Yeah, if you guys want to see the last 3 or 4 years stacked next to each other, let us know. We can do that for you guys. All right, but on to this one, Dustin. Oh, getting that. Right away, I'm getting that vanilla candied banana.
I was going to say a little bit of smoky graham cracker, but you're right, bananas there.
Oh, the graham cracker, though, is right. It is right there.
And it's smoky. It's like they put a little char on it.
Mm-hmm. Did we actually grill two sides real quick of a graham cracker bar? A little back and forth. A little grilled pineapple, but this time grilled graham cracker.
Yeah, I'm trying to get in and get that fruit note here, because there is a nice fruit note on here, but I'm right now struggling. Might pop more with water here, but
I tell you what, the fruit note is been in the background initially, but it's a bright fruit, Dustin.
Yeah, that's again. I'm trying to. I know from my having had a decent bit of this one already, I know I get a very citrusy fruit here, but today it's coming in closed, and I haven't opened this in probably 3 weeks, so. Should be nice and opened up for you guys.
Yeah, Dustin always gets in these Springbanks pretty quick. As soon as he got it, he gave me a call, he opened it up. I was like, tell me all about it.
Yep.
We'll sit there and listen to each other drink a new whiskey and tell us all about it. When I'm doing work or a spreadsheet or something, like, yeah, that's way better than what I'm doing.
That is how it always works.
Mm-hmm. Now, Dustin, I am not getting the traditional vinegar chips here at all. I'm not really getting even a ton of funkiness.
Yeah, I don't get really the sugar cookie kind of element either. Exactly. I mean, we got the vanilla. We got elements of it, but this again it has a nice little bit of smokiness.
A little smoky. To me, it's almost sashaying into kind of more of a tropical fruit note, and maybe you could say like a tropical pineapple or something like that.
Yeah. Well, what I've been waiting for is tropical fruits, because that is what I got originally when I first opened this. It's what I've been getting.
It's going there.
But it's taking a little time today.
A nice warm lemon.
I was about to say a little lemon lime's coming in here, and it's very citrusy lemon. Very citrusy lime. Yeah, and it's starting to have like a longer linger, funkiness, a little bit of sourness, and like that sour candy. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, it's all coming together now.
A little bit of Sour Patch Kid.
Yeah, now that vanilla note is becoming more of like a slight powdered sugar, candied cigar kind of thing. You're getting in that the peat's really kind of just added a little bit of smoke here, and I think the age has added a little bit of like barrel char smoke.
I love an all ex-bourbon. I don't care if it was a local barley, the 12 cask strength, or this 18. I don't ever remember them doing just a straight all bourbon on the 18 before.
No, I don't think they have. I mean, originally they were mostly just doing 100% like refilled sherry on the Long Row and the Springbank, I think, and they were funky and a very like old cask. Not my favorite kind of funk from Springbank. I actually really appreciate these cleaner recent releases.
This is definitely cleaner. Clean, bright fruits. Definitely ripe fruits. All right, Dustin, let me take a little sip.
Go for it, man.
It is a little closed off, I would say. This is our first drink of the night, so maybe that has something to do
I
with
think
it.
that's a factor.
I mean, but again, absolutely nothing off-putting. Like a more modern crystalline sugar, clean Springbank. These casks, while not like Hazelburn Oloroso because they're not sherry, but it does come off that kind of that sugar cleanness that I get from that whiskey an awful lot.
Yeah, I was actually kind of waiting for Mike to jump into the taste, so I just for these comments, since I like to have something to say. But
Go for it.
Like we were kind of talking about, this is very approachable. It's very clean. This is very much on the more approachable side of Springbank. The lack of sherry, sometimes the sherry plays with the funk. This kind of gives you a more approachable version. But as a whiskey lover, there's a lot of depth here, a lot of complexity, a lot of layers. This is not a simple whiskey. It's just more approachable. Yeah.
What comes off on the palate? On the palate, while you're out of the mouth, you get that dirty Springbank. Dirty Springbank there, the funkiness is there, but as soon as you swallow, fruits, citrus, stinging citrus, pineapple, lemon, something more tropical, but I can't quite put my finger on it. Maybe the twinge of cantaloupe, and then that smoke is just building here on the long linger. Dustin, what are you getting?
Yeah, I think smoked pineapple maybe is what you're getting there. Because it doesn't have the citrus bitterness and biting.
Got a couple grill marks.
Like I get pineapple all the time on the Hazelburn, but this is like a smoky version where it's much less. Now, as you kind of noted, tons of fruits. There's even some stuff starting to build up for me when I'm swirling around in my mouth before I swallow. Nice little subtle bit of smoke, rich vanilla notes, nice oak char without going over the top. This isn't even close to overdone with the oak, but it has a nice, clean vanilla oak going on. The malt is very, very just, it's here, it's present, but it's not trying to overpower anything. It's letting that oak really tell the story of those 18 years. And that's really something that I've often kind of, I find with Springbank, because of the different casks they use and the different maturations they're doing, sometimes you don't quite get the age. That you know it's well-aged whiskey, but you couldn't tell me 15 versus 21. Like I'd be guessing. This really does feel like you get the full 18 years where that maturation really plays a significant role in what's making this whiskey.
I'll tell you this, Dustin. Usually, as far as age goes, if you do have an all ex-bourbon, and usually if they're traditional cast, meaning they're refill cast, usually you're right, it's a little bit harder to, in that scenario, pick up a little bit more age. But yeah, really not in this one. This comes off every bit 18 years old.
Yeah, even the sherry casks I often find, like, I don't know how heavily sherry, I don't know if it was butt, a hogshead, they don't really tell you. So it's really hard to judge and say, oh, that's 18-year-old whiskey. This very much has that very distinct, I'm not 15 years old. I'm at least 18 years old. I have spent time in wood.
Gotta make sure to nail down that age, Dustin. All right, Dustin, with a little bit of water.
Lemon, lime, Skittles.
Yeah, so like the fruits are definitely more predominant with a little bit of water. But there is like lemon, lime, all that still for sure. Still the pineapple, still that nice ridge of vanilla. But I tell you what, now there's a softer type fruit. Melon, mango, something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would
I would
totally sign off on that.
Yeah, I would call it tropical fruits, but it's in the melon. It's in the melon ranges now.
I think there's a very general tropical feel to this. Mm-hmm. This has got a nice tropical note. Now, are they truly tropical fruits, or are we just talking citrus? I don't know, but
it's almost like a cool breeze goes go along with it too.
Yeah.
There's a beautiful softness to all of
this. This definitely has a summer day on an island kind of a feel. A little bit of sea salt coming through even.
But the sand is sugar.
It has a really nice toasted, caramelized kind of sugar note coming through. I don't say caramelized very often on Scotch, and it's very subtle, but there's a little bit of caramelized notes. Yeah, just slightly brown sugar kind of a thing in a saucepan.
Man, I'm still looking for some recognizable things as far as the normal 18 goes. No vinegar chips whatsoever.
Oh, it's again the not having those sherry casks really let something else come through here, and it's showcasing this beautiful age. I mean, no wonder they didn't want to add sherry here, as they knew they had a beautiful bourbon cask or set of bourbon casks they wanted to flaunt to everybody.
Here comes back that candied vanilla banana again.
Oh, man, beautiful.
And it's bright yellow peel. I still say green melons here. Green melon isn't a strong smell in general, but man, it's just right in the background. Happy little tree, if you will.
The saltiness and the peat really came out with water. Not, again, it's not a smoky peat bomb, but nice additional level of peat. This is really my wheelhouse, Mike. I've always said, as much as I love heavily peated whiskeys, I love a combination of fruitiness and peat. And that subtle light peat with fruitiness is one of my favorite things. Why Springbank's one of the brands I really gravitated towards. And this is killing it.
Yeah. So, I mean, with water, just like when it was neat, nice flavors on the nose, a little subdued. As soon as you swallow, though, you get this bit more characteristic, and then it's just a fruit show from there on out. But I tell you what, now I'll say with water, there is more spice to it. It wasn't a ton of spice initially, but now a good, just regular generic spice to go along with this whole experience.
It adds a little bit of like oak bite, oak bitterness.
Coming
through.
Yeah, just slightly.
Again, you can just tell these are well-aged casks that haven't reached the point where like they're starting to get too heavy. This is a vibrant, sweet, approachable, incredibly approachable whiskey. I mean, and one thing I noticed is with the water, especially, Mike, sometimes Springbanks can get a little thin. This one didn't thin out much at all.
Nope.
Great mouthfeel. Not the best you're ever going to get at 46, but about as good as it comes, especially from Springbank.
I agree. Good texture for 46.
Yeah, I mean, maybe some of the other 18s with some of those sherry casks, maybe they added a little more richness, or maybe just the added oomph of flavor, maybe made it seem a little richer, but really well done.
Here in springtime, this is a great whiskey for the time of year this is, too.
It is. You're right.
It smells like
I
sunshine.
feel like I should have some stupid-looking suit, like I'm going to Keeneland to watch the horses.
Well, you have to give my wife a big hat.
There you go.
And bet on the wrong horse, like always.
You're wearing some Madras shorts with like a yellow polo with no socks and some boat shoes.
Big flower. All right, Dustin, whiskey score time. It's your whiskey, so let me go first. I forgot about a little notepad to write down, but I'll get it for the next review. Really good. Another really good Springbank 18. A whiskey that I really like a lot, but this time it's a little bit different version of what I would consider the norm for this one, being an all bourbon cask maturation. A little lower on some of the things that are more recognizable. Went a few directions I found interesting. I'm an 89 out of 100. Dustin?
I was waffling on 90 and 89. I did land myself on 89, and I think we've given some 90s on these in the past. But I would like a little wow factor, and this doesn't have enough of it. I wish it either went a little more tropical or went a little more peated. That said, man, this is excellent. If this is your favorite Springbank 18 ever, you are not wrong. This is excellent. This is really a preference thing, but it's 89 and a half if you wanted to, really mince words. It's such a great whiskey. Very glad I got a backup of this one. I wish I'd bought more backups over the years.
Yep, I figured it had at least been 89 since you wouldn't offer me the second one. That's my main, though. That's how I know you. All right, those are our thoughts on this particular one. Once again, this is the June 2024, 17th day of the month release of the Springbank 18 All Ex-Bourbon. Dustin, until next time, what do we wish to folks?
Happy drinking.
We'll see you then.